I told my wife our relationship is far from equal, but she doesn't care. So I'll try to keep this short. Both in our 30s and have been together for 17 years. I, male, am the sole provider for my family of 6, partner and kids, 2 high-energy dogs. I work 5 days a week and sometimes work on weekends if we need a little more cash. My partner is a stay-at-home mom and hasn't worked since our eldest was born by her own choice. This comes from Polly Throwaway on the Best of Redditor Updates subreddit. So I wake up at 5 a.m. and take the dogs out, prepare kids' lunches / snacks, ensure all school essentials such as bags, etc. at the front door, then head to work in a physically demanding job. Kids are picked up for daycare, school at 7 due to after-school activities and clubs, etc. They're not home until 6. I come home at 7, make dinner most nights, help with homework, do bath time for the little ones.
Bath time.
I thought maybe it was like his wife was named Beth. Do bath time for the little ones, do dishes, take our dogs for a longer walk, put little ones in bed if the house is a mess, and then I will, of course, clean it. What is she doing?
So she's a stay-at-home mom, but she doesn't do anything?
What is she staying at home for? I pay for everything: mortgage, bills, insurance, groceries, clothes, toys, technology, after-school activities, dates. A woman to deep clean the house once a month. My partner wants to go on a 2-week-long vacation with her friends, which will overlap with the weekend I had planned with my brother, who I rarely get to see as we live so far away. She wants me to cancel my trip as she's tired and needs a break. We got into an argument over it in which unkind things were said on both sides, but I am unwilling to budge on this. How do I get through to her that I need some rest? TLDR, I pay for everything, do housework, childcare, etc. While wife is a stay-at-home mom, she wants to go on a 2-week-long vacation with her friends, which means I won't be able to go on a weekend trip with my brother, which was planned well in advance. We argued, in which she told me I need to help out more, and I basically said, what's in the title? How do I get through to her?
Dude.
There is an update. There's more additional information, but I would love to know from all of you, what do you think you would say to your wife?
This is giving the dog that is on the couch and they do like a really big sigh after being home all day for and sleeping for 16 hours.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's tiring sleeping so long.
You're like, I need a little bit more sleep. Like, look at Ava.
Look at Ava.
What has she been doing? Nothing.
Well, she went on a walk this morning.
She
right?
did. I took her on
Do you
a
take her
walk.
to the dog park?
No.
I took her to the dog park yesterday and she got along with the dogs.
Aww.
Well, actually not got along. She just was antisocial, but she was like there with the other
She
dogs.
watched them.
She watched them. I mean, how do you get through to her? You just say like, hey, I feel a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah. I feel like I'm doing a lot of, I'm picking up a lot of the slack.
I feel like right now, like this is what's on my plate, just so you know. Blah, 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 blah. I would love to know what you feel like you're doing that is making you so stressed and tired.
I would love to know what you feel like you're doing.
Yeah, sorry. No, that's actually, no. What are you doing that makes you so tired? And maybe that would allow you to see from her perspective first before going into her. But I think you got to get curious before.
Got to get curious before you get confrontational.
Mad. Ooh,
This is a
curious
good one.
Before confrontational. Chira Tyler says, ooh,
Kiara.
Is she cheating? What is she spending all that time doing? Self-care? All right.
Ooh.
Kiara, that's a little bit fast.
Yeah. Come on, this come from Reddit.
So we got some additional info. Hello all. Sorry I haven't replied to many comments, but I have read most of them. I've seen a couple questions I'd like to answer and figure that making a post would be better than replying to individual comments. My children are between 16 and 6. My wife doesn't take anyone to their club/activities. Younger children's school finishes at 3 p.m. Their clubs are in the school. Older kids finishes at 3:30. They stay in a club until 4:30, then go to youth group with their cousins until they come home. My eldest make their way to and from school on their own, while my youngest are picked up and dropped off. Kids are, of course, able to eat breakfast at home, but often enjoy eating with their friends before school at 8. My wife doesn't walk the dogs because she doesn't like to, and frankly, they don't like her. I enjoy my time walking the dogs because it allows me some time to think. We have a large yard with dog houses, toys, and some agility equipment for them to use while I'm gone. They also get mental stimulation through Kongs and puzzle toys, which have been prepared and stored in the freezer. What does my wife do all day?
That's the real question.
That's a real question. Honestly, she's not isolated. She often tells me of things she's done with her friends, sister, mother, etc.
Mistress.
She goes to the gym, does and enjoys her hobbies such as embroidery, design, knitting, and some jewelry design. She changes what she likes to do, says it keeps things fresh. Housework-wise, she does the laundry. I fold and distribute it later. So you mean she puts stuff in a washing machine?
Yeah. She throws stuff into the laundry.
That's the easiest part. The hardest part is folding it. She will give dogs water and prepared meals / enrichment. What does that mean? Like throwing the ball every once in a while? We have those robot vacuums and air purifiers to deal with dog hair, but my wife will vacuum if needed. I wipe countertops, put dishes in dishwasher after meals. Older kids take care of their own rooms / bathrooms for an allowance. Have you ever not truly noticed something until it's right in front of your face? I was so mad because I wanted to go to my brother and she wanted to go on vacation with her friends. Yes, she wants me to pay for it. Well, she doesn't have an income, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, she needs to maybe get a job.
And things have been like this for so long that I didn't see how unfair and imbalanced things were until I truly started to look at how our duties were distributed. You've all given me a lot to think about. I'll answer some comments later. And there is an update.
Ooh-wee.
But I think it is one of those moments where it's like, this has been going on for so long. It's probably been a slow creep of OP taking on more and more of responsibilities in the house.
Yeah.
And he's just realizing now because he's overwhelmed that this is not what he wants to be doing. This is not how he wants to be treated. And this is not what a fair and equal partnership looks like. And maybe, she hasn't really thought about it. So like give her the opportunity to realize that what she's doing is not
working.
Is not working. I mean, yeah, if it's not working for you, OP, it's not working in the relationship.
Yeah. And you need to be communicative before it just breaks down.
Yeah, exactly. OP, I would talk to your wife ASAP and be like, hey, like I'm feeling overworked and overwhelmed right now. And I know it seems like you might be too. Can you tell me like why you're feeling like that?
Yeah.
And both try to understand each other and try to understand her first, even though you feel slighted. I think it will turn out better if you try to understand her first and then give your side.
Indeed.
Seek to understand before you seek to be understood. So here is the update. And Sophia, it is not good.
Oh,
it's not good at all. But it's not totally bad.
Oh, I know. I knew it.
Because apparently I've sprouted a backbone.
Woo!
Let's go, OP. A lot has happened, and I feel like my world is falling apart. This will be long. The following 2 paragraphs are some more background context. So, some of you suggested that I enable her behavior, and I'd like to address that, which maybe you have, OP.
Yeah, maybe you just kind of let her do it.
Have you ever thought that it's your fault?
Have you ever thought that maybe you're not doing enough?
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly?
Maybe you should just stop complaining. We're joking, by the way. To explain how things got this way to begin with. My wife worked from age 16 to 20, but I'd often come home after work during these early stages of her pregnancy, and she would tell me how bad the morning sickness had been and how she was getting in trouble at work for being late or not turning up due to the issues she was having. One night, after a long discussion about things, she suggested that it would be better for her and the baby if she stayed home during the pregnancy. I was reluctant at first because we weren't exactly swimming in cash, but ultimately the health of my wife and child were more important than a few months of added stress. To save money, we moved in with my wife's older sister and her husband. We split rent and utilities, but we're still saving some money. The pregnancy wasn't easy on her. She was often cranky, uncomfortable, and as a result, could be quite mean, rude, and a bit handsy. Ooh, fun. Does that mean handsy as in like frisky, or is handsy as in she like slapped the shit out of you?
It's like,
yeah. Which one of those is bad? So after further discussions with my wife and her sisters, I took on more of the household duties, such as cooking, etc. When my eldest was born, my wife's sister helped with childcare while I was at work for the first year. But after, she and my wife had a fight when he was about a year old, and we moved into our own place. But my wife struggled during the day when I wasn't there to help, so we ultimately decided to put him in another daycare facility.
So it seems like she just can't do
anything. I would drop him off on my way to work and would pick him up on my way back. Why doesn't she do that when I finished? Once home,
literally, what is she doing?
One of us would cook dinner while the other watched the baby. Back when we had no pets, so household duties weren't too much and could be handled by a couple hours cleaning on Saturday or Sunday, when we could split it between us both. When my son was 3, my wife's sister offered to get her a job where she worked. My wife had to do an interview, but my sister-in-law was confident she would get the position. My wife was reluctant and nervous about returning to work, but attended the interview and was offered the job.
Okay.
I don't remember much of our celebrations that night, but it ended in the conception of our second child.
Damn.
My wife told me when she'd been stuck at her new job for just over a month about the pregnancy. She stuck it out a couple more weeks, but was fired due to not turning out for shift.
Why is she not doing?
She doesn't sound very accountable.
That's the thing. It's like you can absolutely go on maternity leave if you need to, but there is a way to do it that won't get you fired.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the same kind of things that are coming up in her work
Or
life.
or what is happening at home.
Yeah. I asked one of her doctors about the issues she was having so early on in the pregnancy, back pain, leg pain, nausea, but my wife cut me off before I could finish and asked me to leave the room.
I wonder if she's just kind of exaggerating all these things.
I think she's exaggerating to get out of work.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I have my back pain. Oh, everything hurts. I can't work. And then she's like, then she talks to the doctor. She's like, actually, everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
When we got home, she berated me for speaking to her doctor like she was a child and told me that if she wants something brought up to her doctor regarding her pregnancy, that she would do it herself. I had embarrassed her because she knew her body and knew what was normal and what wasn't. I still thought the issues had to be addressed with her doctor, but whenever I brought it up, her mood swings would get worse. I feel like that's like deflecting, you know? It's like not like it's so like he can't get the truth out.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Even though OP's just worried about her.
My mother-in-law came to live with us when my second was born for a short while when I returned to work after my paternity leave. When my daughter was born, about 4 months old, my wife expressed she was having difficulty looking after her by herself during the day, but my mother-in-law, who had her own life and responsibilities, couldn't come back and stay indefinitely. We had a 2-bedroom apartment then, and having her sleep on the couch didn't seem fair to me. So we enrolled my daughter in daycare while my son was at nursery. My son went to daycare after nursery as well, so I'd pick them both up around 6 p.m. and head home. My wife promised she would speak to her doctor about the possibility of depression, etc., and her mood did improve with additional help with the children. So she's just staying home all day during the day.
Yeah.
Which, like, I feel like, you know, like an idle mind is the devil's playground.
I know.
Like,
It
you
makes
need
it
to have
way
work.
worse.
It makes it way worse. Like,
if you're just at home, like doing nothing and you're already not in a great mood.
yeah, like you know, there is like depression sourced from imbalance, like chemical imbalances from pregnancy and stuff. But also a lot of depression is like, are you running and like exercising? No.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you hanging out with friends? No. Are you doing something that you're passionate about that you like? No.
If you're
like,
isolating yourself, it really does not help.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to do the things that are necessary to pull you out of depression. And like I think humans just need to be busy and doing things that we care about. And it doesn't seem like she's doing that. My wife took on cooking and cleaning duties then, but struggled as well. I would often come home to burn/ruin food and would need to make something else anyway. So I ended up cooking dinner most nights so we wouldn't be wasting food. During a weekend away for a friend's wedding, when my daughter was 5, I suggested that my wife go back to work. Both kids were in school now, and I thought we could improve our lifestyle with 2 incomes. We had recently bought a house because the apartment was too small for us and the children needed their own room. She seemed hesitant, which I understood after being out of work for so long, but she agreed. She applied for several positions but had no luck with interviews or callbacks. We found out she was pregnant with our 3rd not long after that, and returning to work was put on hold again. I feel like she gets pregnant just in the nick of time.
He's like, you have to go back to work. She's like, yes.
Oh, what? Here it is.
I can't.
The pregnancy was difficult as expected, but again, my mother-in-law came to stay when I had to return to work.
Kimberly finds this weaponized incompetence. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels
Especially
like.
with the burning of the food. It's like, come on. Like,
yeah, you can burn your first couple meals, but
you got to get better.
After a while, it's like, come on, get your shit together.
Everything.
Yeah. She stayed for a while, but had to return to her own home eventually. Before she left, my wife told me that she feared she would struggle with our second daughter, just as she had with the first 2. I tried to reassure her, but she seemed to become insanely depressed the second her mother left. I would return home with an 8 and 5-year-old to a screaming baby and nothing done around the house. Her mood and actions affected the entire house, so reluctantly I put her second daughter in daycare as well. But I told my wife she had to talk to her doctor and that we'd no longer be having any more children.
Definitely don't have them. She can't even handle the ones that you do have.
She can't.
Snip.
Yeah,
Snip,
no,
snip.
I mean, I think OP needs to get a vasectomy like ASAP.
So. Yeah.
But the thing that's scary is what it seems like she's doing is like, she's like, and maybe I don't know if this is true, but it almost feels like she's intentionally getting pregnant somehow every time she needs to go back to work.
A little bit.
It feels like too perfect, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm suspicious.
She's just not a partner.
Yeah.
Like, they're not partners. He's having to look after another child, basically.
And it's Brittany Beach has a good comment. She doesn't want to be a mother and she doesn't want to work. She doesn't want to do either. She's just being a mother so she doesn't have to work.
Exactly. Like, she just wants to stay home and do nothing.
And Kimberly Fine says she's finding it hard to love her manipulation tools.
Mm-hmm.
After the person who is obligated to love her doesn't want to stay, ovulated whether wasn't around to baby her further. Yeah, like the husband's not playing her games anymore. She was, and we had a huge fight about it, but I got a vasectomy and she accepted it.
Nice. I think that's the way to go. Yeah.
We've always used protection. My wife is on birth control and I always use condoms. But given that it had already failed twice for us, when my first was conceived after my 21st, I was so
okay.
I don't think I wore one. Our second after celebrating her new job, and our third at our friend's wedding, I didn't want it to happen again. But obviously the universe had other plans for us. And our third daughter was born 2 years after our second when we were celebrating a promotion I'd gotten out of
After
work.
the vasectomy or before?
I think after, because a vasectomy doesn't mean like you definitely can't have kids.
Well, it's like very, very low chances.
Yeah, it's much lower. And they were using protection, but I guess when they celebrate, they celebrate in
It's
style.
really hard.
Yeah.
We'll get back to the story, but John, I had a crazy basketball game last night.
What happened?
So I was playing and the other team was very aggressive. I got an offensive foul, which that is crazy to get. And I kind of tweaked my ankle.
Ooh.
But this other guy, our center, our star player, went in for a layup and this dude just smacked him in the head. And he had to walk off for a second. Ref didn't say anything and he got a technical foul because he was going off at the ref.
Even though he got hit in the head?
He got hit in the head.
That doesn't make any sense.
He had to sit down for a little bit and he was like, dude, I don't even know what to do. I'm new here. I've never been to a doctor. What do I do? I was like, bro, good for you. I know exactly where you need to go.
Riley, where is that to save your team? Where are you going to point them, Riley?
ZocDoc.
That's right. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you and instantly book appointments with them online. And these doctors all have verified reviews from real patients just like you guys. We're talking about booking appointments with tens of thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed, credible doctors and specialists. And you can filter the ones that take your insurance. We're looking out for your pockets, ladies and gentlemen. And they treat basically any condition you're looking for. The typical wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is between just 24 and 72 hours, and sometimes even the same day. I use ZocDoc. We use ZocDoc. Guys, you should use ZocDoc too. Go to ZocDoc.com/OKOP and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/OKOP, ZocDoc.com/OKOP. Let's get back to the story.
Obviously, this is a brief summary of events, and there have been several other moments throughout the years when I've suggested she go back to work, but I thought I'd try to provide further background for those who are curious about how we got to where we are. Someone asked if my wife has had a break recently. She has never taken 2 weeks away before, but she goes away a couple times every year for weekend trips with family and friends. The longest she has been gone is a week. In regards to the dogs and why they don't like her, she doesn't like them. She thinks the mental stimulation I provide through Kong toys, games, puzzles, etc. is unnecessary, but freaks out if their energy levels are too high. One is a German Shepherd, which I was gifted for on my birthday, and the other is a German Shepherd Malinois mix my wife brought home because she thought our GSD needed a friend.
Ooh,
Or what?
Wait, people in the comments are saying not his kid.
I'm thinking not his kid.
Yeah.
I'm thinking not his kid.
Maybe
yeah.
that's what she's doing.
Every time.
Maybe that's what she's been doing all day.
All not her kids?
Run that paternity
Or not
test.
his kids, rather. Yes, they have been to training and were originally in doggy daycare for the first couple of years, but on to the update, I suppose. So that was all context. Now we're on to the real update.
The real one?
The real one.
Yeah.
Well-
Some people are saying that she got a vasectomy after the third dog. I mean, the third child. So
No, yeah, got a vasectomy after the third child,
yes,
but now has a third daughter because it was 2 daughters and 1 boy. So now there's 4
there's
children.
4 kids.
There's 4 kids.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Yeah, I don't trust that daughter is.
Yeah, 4 kids. And John just stepped in. So TLDR for John,
TLDR
too.
for Johnny Boy.
Johnny
Welcome
Boy.
back.
He's
It's me.
back.
I'm fixed.
How are your knees?
Back. Stronger than ever.
Show me those things.
Dude, he laid me down and made me stretch them.
Yeah?
It's basically just the exercises for 6 to 8 weeks of
Yeah.
precise strength training to come out stronger than ever before. But I was literally I don't know if he was bending me over.
And it was just looking at that crotchal region.
Yeah, he was looking. Actually, it's so funny. He was like, "Hey, so what do you do for a living?" Oh, I'm a content creator. He's like, "Oh, you work for? Oh, yeah, yourself. Okay, yeah." I was like, "Yeah, but I do a lot of man on the street stuff. We're gonna do a lot more of it." And he's like, "Oh, so Haktua?" And I'm like, "Actually, exactly like that. We're out 5 to 6 hours getting pounding the pavement, getting as many interviews as I can.
That's so funny.
It was
Oh my
great.
gosh.
Shout out to him. I forgot his name.
Shout out Hawk to a girl. Yeah, how's that Talk to a podcast? Is it
We
still
gotta get her on the show.
Still number 3.
Still number 3?
Number 3?
Yeah, of the podcast. Let me look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's that.
Oh yeah, we gotta get her on, dude.
4th on the list of the most popular podcasts in the U.S.
What's
Apple?
Yeah,
It's rated 9 out of 10 on the IMDb.
IMDb.
Wait, what are the
Number 10 on Spotify in comedy.
Okay, that's impressive.
That's still impressive.
That's impressive.
What are we on Spotify? I don't. Are we ranked on Spotify or just Apple?
Boom!
Number 10. Hey yo, let's go.
Number 10.
Improv.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
Nope, let's go.
That ain't bad.
Let's
Where
go.
are we? Where are we on the comedy podcast though?
Oh, look at that! Look who's underneath us!
Who?
Yeah!
Who?
Yes! Look who's underneath us!
Wait, I can't see.
almost
It's
Friday.
Improv!
Get
Almost Friday
wrecked.
against you guys! Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh! We did it! We did it!
Dude, honestly, we've been beating them on the whole for a long time.
For a while.
Yeah.
For a while. Next is Morgan.
We're doing
Oh my
okay.
gosh, dude.
No one doesn't
Oh my
answer our
gosh.
DM.
Yeah, dude. After I talked to you on the
Yeah.
street in front of a Trader Joe's.
Come on.
Oh my gosh.
I think come
You
on.
guys are getting all the tea today.
Log in. I gotta sign up real quick.
God,
guys.
it really would be good to get in a real podcast beat. That would just make me happy.
Wait, I didn't tell you this, but when I was at Comic-Con, you know the guy, do you know No Cap on God?
No.
He's the biggest douche ever. And
Let's start a beef.
he was terrible.
Yeah.
I saw him on the thing, and his camera guy starts harassing Christian and like touching him and stuff. And like I didn't see this, but like he was like asking like Christian a bunch of questions. So I started asking his camera guy him, who he was acting as a camera guy, a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
But then apparently other guy kept like touching Christian. You know how Christian had, like you have to do a lot to not
Yeah.
to like upset
He's a gentle
Christian.
cat.
Yeah, he was like apparently kept pushing and touching him, and Christian's like, dude, like he's like, hey, like can you like back off? I'm just trying to film. He's like, hey, can you just back off?
Yeah.
And then he's like, dude, if you don't back off, I will push you.
Yeah.
And this guy was he was the worst person. And I was like, oh, dude, I've seen like some of your stuff online. Like it's like some of it's kind of funny. And he's like, yeah, whatever, dude. And then
Yeah,
and I'm like-
whatever, dude.
basically something like that, dude. And I'm like, and literally at that moment, someone from the OK fam was like,
No.
Sam, let's go. Like,
Yes. And
I'm
then
like-
we show love.
and then we show, dude, and then I was so excited. We took a picture together.
Dude, they really do come in at the best times ever.
best time. And then like I had like a little chat with her. She said she watches us on TikTok, and I went back and I'm like, don't worry, bro, you'll get there one day.
Yeah. Dude, let's freak.
And then,
dude,
and then we
wow.
left. But it was, dude, he was like
charged up.
not a nice person at all.
like,
Not a nice person
To
at
me, I'm like, if you like create something and someone like goes up and is like, oh, like I enjoy your stuff, da, 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 I'm like, you're the greatest person that's ever existed. You've given me your time and enjoy it. So like the level of like recognizing you and saying your name, and then anything more than that, like they have invested
Yeah.
in you as a creator,
Yeah.
right? So
yeah.
to
Which
to
I
me,
feel like we have like the best. We have the
Yeah.
best. We have like the best community.
literally
We have the best
community.
You, like also, every time one of y'all have come in like person, it's always been a vibe.
So great. Like
It's always been a vibe.
such an amazing positive experience. Okay, here we go.
161 in the comedy,
Let's go.
but
pretty
11 in improv.
That's not bad.
There we go.
That's not bad. So yeah, that was my
was a
hot
tangent.
take.
That was good. That
All
was
of that,
important.
by the way, is on camera. So exposed.
Let's please.
Dude,
Dude, let's make a list of all the people we can expose.
Dude, let's just get in a bunch of podcast beef.
Yeah,
I would be
dude.
so
I
happy.
got-
We have like
20v1.
We got 5 people on the list.
yeah. We just have people that have like just not giving us the respect we deserve.
Which that is exactly how beefs start. It's like one thing of disrespect, and then we blow it out of proportion. That is exactly how it's supposed to work. I love it.
Yeah, not a Pokemon says, who are they though? Oh, no one. Who are they though? I don't even know.
That's it.
I
never heard of them.
Yeah, never heard of
I'm
them.
gonna hang this on my wall.
I love that.
This. I love it so much.
Dude, hang it on your wall when we're number one. All right, so I think what he's suspicious of, or what he's just realizing, is she's doing no work.
I see you in the comments, baby.
Let's get into this update. As one of you suggested, I took a day off work. I generally wasn't feeling too good either, but I intended to speak to my wife about the situation while the children were at school. Kids all left for school by 7-ish. My wife came downstairs at 11:45 and seemed very shocked to see me. She asked what I was doing home, and I explained I took a sick day as I wasn't feeling well. The first words out of her mouth were, "But we need the money. You don't look that bad." Dude, I think someone's coming over to the house. I think someone's coming over to the house while he's gone, and that's why she's worried.
So she does have another job, giving out hands.
Ooh.
Smart.
I made a face, and she quickly asked what was wrong and asked me if she could get anything. I asked for a water, and we sat on the couch, but soon her phone rang, and she went off into the kitchen to talk. She came back a while later and asked if I wanted to get something to eat, and I said we could make something from the kitchen. She said she wanted to go out, and I said we could order takeout, but I wasn't in the mood to go out. The dogs had been sitting by the chest freezer, waiting in the pantry for their lunchtime enrichment for 10 minutes now, and I asked if she was going to feed them. She flopped onto the couch and asked me to get it. I said no. She asked again, and I said no again. She glared at me, but eventually got up and gave it to them. She asked me to take her out again several times, and I kept saying no. I was starting to get a migraine, which I told her, but she kept asking, suggesting we should go shopping.
Dude.
She could get her nails done and we could enjoy the day together. I refused, said we had something to talk about, and she said we would, then just went upstairs. She came back down 40 minutes later, dressed up, and said if I wasn't going to take her out, she'd go herself. I tried to get her to sit down so we could talk, but she blew me a kiss at the door and rushed outside without even locking it. While she was out, I took some of your advice and canceled the cleaning lady we have. I apologized to her as I really did like her, but she was very understanding, and I think we parted on good terms. She returned home at 8 p.m. and immediately asked where dinner was. Oh my God.
The audacity.
The audacity.
Oh my God. I told her the kids and I had already ate. She asked where her dinner was, and I told her she'd have to make something for herself. She said she'd just order something, and I told her no. This gave her a pause, and she looked at me like I just told her she had to starve. She said she couldn't cook, and I told her I know she's perfectly capable of making something. We have plenty of food. It's not like she has to be Gordon Ramsay to stick a tin of soup or something on the stove. She left again and returned 30 minutes later with McDonald's for herself, which set the younger kids off. Yes, they had already ate, but she walked in the door, finishing her burger and drink with an empty bag and a McFlurry tub. Our youngest asked why she didn't bring her any ice cream, and my wife said, Daddy didn't allow me to.
Dude, I really hate that.
I did not say this, and I swear it took more strength than I'd like to admit not to yell at her in front of our daughter. When the kids were in bed, I asked her to sit and talk about the situation regarding our trips. She asked if I'd rescheduled with my brother, and I firmly told her no, and that I wouldn't be. I tried to have a conversation. I explained I felt our duties were incredibly uneven and that I'd like for her to take on more responsibilities with the children and the house. She argued that she does enough, and I asked her to make a list. What does she do?
Oh no. Comparing lists.
She put laundry down, feeding the dog, making doctor's appointment, and grocery shopping. And I brought out my own list with everything I've told you guys so far and added that I created the dog's meals. She simply has to give it to them. I fold and distribute the laundry, take kids to the doctor's appointments, and that the groceries are ordered through an app on her phone, delivered to the house, and I put them away.
She just uses an app.
Yeah, dude. She's probably do Amazon Priming those groceries.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably
man.
she already has a set list, so she just has to press buy again, you know?
Yeah, dude.
True.
It's not that hard. It takes 5 minutes.
Also, the level of free sponsorship in this episode is too high.
Sorry. I didn't take that.
It is a lot. It is a lot.
She got up then. I asked what she was doing, and she said she was going upstairs. I didn't argue. I didn't want it to resolve to an argument and wake the kids up. She was visibly shaking with anger. A while later, I went upstairs as well. She was on the phone to someone when I entered the room. She demanded I leave and go sleep on the couch. I refused and climbed to bed. She hung up the phone and demanded again that I sleep on the couch, and again I refused. She grabbed me and physically tried to drag me out. That resulted in a fight, and I ended up sleeping on the couch because she was going to wake the kids up again. The following days were much of the same. I have stopped folding and putting away her laundry. I do it for myself and the younger kids, and my 2 oldest take their piles and put them away themselves. I still cook for the kids, but have told my wife that she has to make her own meals. Petty, I know. I think my eldest heard us arguing because he asked if he could take the dogs out for a couple walks with his friends during the week. He says he's enjoying it, but I think he and my wife had an argument the other day because he's been very distant with her and things feel off. He asked me about 3 times if I love him, and of course I told him there's nothing he could ever do to make me not. Yes, I've tried to talk to him about it, but he doesn't want. All right, I have an ICU. Oldest found out that the wife is cheating and wants to tell him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's why he wants that reassurance.
Yep. He's like, if I tell you anything, that could mess up your marriage.
Yeah, because the wife probably knows and said, if you ever tell him yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, he'll never love you. Dude.
No way. No way.
My ICUs, my Reddit IQ.
He's seeing.
High.
He's seeing them use.
Yes, I've tried to talk to him about it, but he doesn't want to talk yet, and I need to respect that. I think pushing him could be a mistake. Thursday night, my wife asked if we could have a drink, as I had to leave on Friday to see my brother. I had a few drinks, but honestly, it went right to my head, and honestly, I just wanted to sleep. She kept trying to initiate spicy sleep, but I wasn't in the mood.
Whoa, because she's trying to have another kid. The trip's coming up, and she might have another kid. So that's why she's like, oh, let's make it happen.
Push present.
Dude, as soon as he asked her to do any kind of work, what did she do? She gets pregnant.
She gets mad, goes to the other guy.
Literally.
I'm pregnant. I can't do it.
I woke up Friday morning and my wife was gone. So was her suitcase. I've texted and called, but there's been no answer other than a text telling me we talk about it when she's back. She ignored me and went on her trip. Regardless, and I am furious. I have left her some cash in the bank account, and she has the card too, but I've removed everything else into another account.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
I had to call my brother why I wouldn't be coming to see him, and he arrived here on Saturday with my nephew and 2 nieces.
Aww.
The house is very full, but honestly, it feels more open than it has in a long, long time. The kids seem relaxed, and so do the dogs. Like, literally, everything's better when she leaves.
That's crazy. It's like whenever in The Office, Luke leaves and everything's better. The Michael's nephew. I just watched this episode.
Oh, yeah. That's an old one.
Yeah, I watched it last night, yeah.
I don't know what will happen with my wife, but I am done. I can't afford a lawyer right now, and unfortunately, I don't know any who could give me a deal or do me a favor, but this marriage is over. It should have been over a long time ago. And there is an update. Oh my goodness. Okay, so John, what are your conspiracy theories right now?
Sounds like, I think your conspiracy theory of the kid knows that she's cheating. She's trying to coerce him into not doing it. Still, back to the vasectomy. I'm like, how could she have given birth to the last one?
I mean, like a vasectomy isn't perfect.
But with protection, do we know like, was it like protection was used every time?
Well, I don't know if it was every time. It seems like whenever they celebrate, there's like, all right, taking off the protection.
Right.
So maybe not, but I feel like it's kind of a little suspicious.
Yeah, I don't like it. Unless she has a freezer full of his little guys and she melts them.
Turkey based each time.
Oh, wow. That would be crazy.
Every sloppy toppy is just like.
You can't use spit.
Wait, yeah. I
was thinking the round thing that they use to protect, and then she pours it into a little.
The protection.
Yeah.
Oh.
She pours it out.
If it mixes with spit, are you screwed?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Actually?
Yeah, because whenever you donate whatever, you can't have any other substance in the vial.
But I feel like that's like just like if you're trying to be like super precise with it.
Well, it does mess it up because it's like other like bacteria and stuff.
Yeah, it's not good probably.
Yeah. And over time, it just isn't right.
Is that true?
Yeah. Don't ask how I know. But it's true.
I don't know if that's true because like doesn't Drake put hot sauce in his protection? Say. So like it won't get pregnant, but there's no science based on that.
There's no science, but that's true. Would it actually stop it?
little burning. What? You don't think that's true?
What? That he does that for their
for his pleasure.
2 minutes in a suitable environment. However, sperm quickly die when exposed to air and semen starts to dry. Oral spicy sleep and swallowing little guys can increase the.
All right. Everyone
really
says
deep
continue with the story. We're going. All right. So, relevant comments. OP on if his wife might have undiagnosed health problems, including PPD. OP says, I spoke to her doctor about the issues she was having because she would not. He asked her what was happening, how she was, and she would say the pregnancy was fine. She was having no issues yet at home. All I got was how hard things were, how ill she felt, how sore she was. She was screaming and yelling at me. I went in the bed because I'm 6'5" and I work a physically and mentally demanding job. It is not good for my body to sleep on a 2-seater couch. I wanted to sleep as I had work in the morning. She escalated and got physical, not me. She made the argument worse, not me. Undiagnosed PPD, she has been to her doctor who diagnosed her with nothing. She told me so herself. And as for me knocking her up, it takes 2 people to create a child. We do not live in America, and my wife is pro-choice. If she wanted to terminate, she has the ability to do so. I told her after our second was born that I didn't think having more kids was a good idea. And she insisted. The same thing after our third and after my vasectomy, and she lost her mind. Quote, let her go on vacation and feel like herself for the first time forever. Did she not feel like herself when she went on multiple weekends away last year with her friends? Does she not feel like herself when she's hanging with the girls for lunch dates through the month? Do you know the last time I saw my brother in person? Before the pandemic. I love how OP's like getting mad at the commenters.
Laying it down.
He is here to support me. If you want my wife to go on a vacation so I can't, then it's perfectly reasonable that my brother can come to the home I pay for when I need him. Are you my wife?
I like how he's like, commenter, you wanted to go on a vacation so bad? How about you pay for it?
Yeah, but we do have an update. Oh, we do have an update, and we got some donos. John, you want to hit
Yes,
those?
sir. Sarah Francis, thanks for the $5 on the tip link. I'm so happy to have the OG crew tonight. These streams are the best. Can't argue with that.
Your streams are the best.
Oh, snap. Okay. Amy, thanks for the $5. This husband wouldn't have these problems if he was a cardio bunny and played 40 chess. He would have run from this bee before the first kid. Gotta love it.
Shall we get into this update?
Let's do
I'm
it.
so ready.
So, slight update. I'm not going to add this to the post as it's already long enough. Please excuse any spelling mistakes. I'm so tired. Thank you all, but I'm not in America. I know a lot of you have suggested I message her telling her I'm going to divorce her, etc., but I think I'm going to play it cool. Act like I've accepted her decision so she's not on guard. I know she said something to my son, but he won't tell me what it is, and I feel like if I push him to, he might not ever, but my nephew and him are hanging out a lot. They're close despite not seeing each other much, so I'm hoping he might confide in him and maybe open up. I'm not just letting this go. We will talk, but I don't want to push him too much. I am not a lightweight. I can drink, but I've been exhausted, and I mean very exhausted for some time now. And I think that maybe that's why I passed out after having one drink. I would be lying to myself and to you if I said I wasn't suspicious. I am suspicious of a lot now.
We're getting there.
Uh-oh, found the iPad.
We're getting there.
Yeah, dude, the cheating iPad. There's always one.
Why do they always pick the iPad?
I swear I'm not an idiot, but I feel like one now. Some of you suggested that I get the kids' DNA tested, especially my youngest, and while I know this is likely something I'll have to do, it breaks my heart to think that they're not mine. My girls all look the same, just older versions of each other. So if I have to DNA test the youngest, I have to do them all. I never wanted kids. This is why I've always used condoms. I'm not the biggest fan of them, but I love my own, and I love these kids.
He didn't even want kids?
Yeah.
What? He has 4?
Regardless of the DNA test, they are mine, W, but I fear if it comes back that they're not, it could damage our relationship. My brother has read my post and spent the last days telling me everything he hates about my wife, obviously not in front of my kids. He's pretty funny, and I feel like I haven't been able to laugh like this in a long time. He says he's going to make a Reddit account. Lord knows what he'll say. Writing this update has opened my eyes further. I see how the timing of wanting her to go back to work lines up with each pregnancy, but when these things are years apart and you're concentrating on supporting the family, and your work brain sometimes pushes these thoughts away until something triggers them again, and boom, you're slapped in the face with the realization that your entire relationship is potentially built on a mountain of lies. She has her phone and iPad.
Over. Game over. It's
I
done.
called that.
Story over. Story over.
Also, context to everyone who doesn't know about the iPad. So many stories of caught cheaters. It always happens that they didn't delete stuff on the iPad because it's shared between all of your devices, like your iMessages. Gotta check the iPad.
Always.
The iCloud is against you.
So I can't check any of that, but I'm going to go through her stuff. Isn't an invasion of privacy likely. Do I care right now? No. I feel like I've wasted the majority of my life, the good years, and that feels horrible to say when I have 4 kids. I promise I don't mean that they're a waste. As I said in this post, this marriage is over. I am done. My kids deserve better, but I won't be alone when I confront her. As I said, she can get handsy. And no, I have never retaliated, and I don't want to be put in a position where I need to. I thank you all for your comments, your insight, your kindness. I know I haven't replied to all the comments, but don't really have time to. So when there are so many, but I am trying to respond, etc. to DMs, as it seems like that's the easier thing to do. I want to ask my sister-in-law what actually happened with my wife in that job, but I don't want her to know I'm suspicious. My sister-in-law is a kind woman, but she is my wife's sister, so her loyalties will always lay with her, I suppose, and I don't want to alert my soon-to-be ex. Does anyone have any ideas how I can do this? Seems odd to bring up a job my wife had for a very brief time years ago. I wish you all the best. There are relevant comments, but John, how do you think OP should go about this? Because he wants to start like getting this information of what's going on with his marriage and what's going on with his wife, but he doesn't want to tip off his wife that something might be coming.
Yeah, I feel like in the recent like divorce stories, one thing I feel like we've learned is like don't take too long and like and drag out the marriage, but like try to get your like affairs in order before you go into the divorce, because it's like custody of the kids and like how much he would have to pay out and split his assets and like all of these other things, like and if she indeed did have like children that weren't his and all this, you know, he shouldn't have to like lose all this stuff because of that. So I think it's good to get as much like information together as possible, particularly if he's able. I still haven't have 100% clarity on if you're like legally allowed to like, because I guess it's just like a cotton swab for the DNA test, right? In many cases,
your kids, you're allowed to.
If it's your kids, you're allowed to.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they're underage.
Yeah,
right.
I honestly, I'm not sure. I would kind of guess so, and that would be pretty simple and easy for him to do.
It's super. I mean, I don't know about the legality of it, but like you can just send your DNA to these
any of the kits, right? So it's like getting that done, getting everything else in order, and then being like, yo, we're not doing this. I'm surprised she hasn't noticed the money yet. Or maybe she never checks her bank account. She just spends it.
She just spends it. She just swipes the credit card.
Come on.
But we got an update.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
But before we go to the update, we'll do some relevant comments. So OP on accusations for not respecting his wife's needs and wants. Who's reading this and being like,
it's our girlfriends on the trip with her.
Ugh. OP, how do I not respect her needs/wants? I pay for everything and do the majority of the child/pet care and housework. I have not gone on vacation in years because I've been providing for my family. I gave her everything she's wanted for the past 17 years, and she couldn't give me a weekend with my brother. Why couldn't we both go on vacation? Because I don't randomly have the money to fund 2 weeks away for her. I can't just up and leave my 16-year-old to look after 3 younger kids and 2 high-energy dogs. I couldn't take them with me because that wouldn't mean multiple plane tickets and accommodation, food, etc. for them, as well as dog sitting/boarding for the dogs. And now let's go into the update. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
I'm sorry it's taken so long to update. Things are not good.
We suspected.
While this update will be small, I will try to do a longer one when things get a little better. Yes, we are separated and we'll be getting a divorce. My father-in-law has graciously offered to help. It's taken so long to update because, as most of you already know, some of the children are not mine.
The big one. Some implies more than one.
My eldest, my son, is mine.
Okay.
Ooh.
My 3 daughters are not. I found out not long after my first update, and while I thought I could handle the news, clearly my body couldn't, and I had a heart attack.
You're joking. This poor guy. Oh my God.
What?
Ah! Dude, this woman is literally going to kill him.
Thankfully, my brother was with me and called an ambulance. I am recovering, but Jesus Christ, it scared the crap out of me and my family. As some of you may remember, when my ex left for vacation, I took the majority of money out of the account. She used, but left some, as I didn't want to leave her stranded. That money was about $500 or so and was gone in a few days. She used her own money that she's been making from Spicy fans to fund her trip.
Oh my gosh.
OnlyFans or side piece, which is better? That's the question.
This is crazy.
I mean, at least with like OF, she's, earning an income,
It is better to me.
bringing something to the table.
Yeah, right? Come on.
Yes, I'm serious. She has a Spicy Fans account. My son had offered to take the dogs out for me during his lunch/free class and walked in on his mother making content in the living room.
Oh.
She told
Trauma.
him that I wasn't making enough money for the family to survive, that she had to do the Spicy Fans to help support us. She told him I was ashamed and embarrassed and that I would be very unhappy and hurt if he mentioned it. She told him that doing so could ruin our marriage and could lead us to divorce.
Dang, I knew she said something to him.
My in-laws know everything, as my brother had to call them to help watch my kids while I was in the hospital. My father-in-law is furious and my mother-in-law is just devastated. She keeps apologizing to me like she's the one who betrayed me. Honestly, the win in this is at least her parents know how bad she is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just happy that the brother was able to tell them before the wife could say anything to him. Because for a fact she would have not made it her problem.
100%.
My ex moved out. She tried to make me leave so she could stay in the house with the kids. But after a conversation with her father, she's renting a place. My eldest daughter and my son knows the girls aren't mine. My ex told them after they said they didn't want to go live with her at her new place.
Dude, straight to the sun.
Oh my God. My mother-in-law was with them at the time and according to my daughter, began screaming at my wife for her behavior. My youngest two don't know yet, but they will. This isn't something I can keep from them forever. They already know that something is up. I've cut my hours back at work and have been able to work from home. It's obviously a desk job for now, but I am thankful to my boss for working with me on this. I came home to find that my mother-in-law and one of my sister-in-laws had cleared out my wife's space and made it an office/den for me. I'm very grateful for their support during this.
Dude, I bet the mother-in-law feels so bad because she's like, this is my daughter, and look at what she's turned out to be.
Yeah.
And the grandkid, she's like crazy.
Who's the father?
I hate to say it, but I don't think it's the same father for all three.
I think it might be because she said they look all the same.
Although one thing I was going to say is he didn't say this, but I was kind of interpreting it as do they all look like her? Did she just win the Fair Baby lottery and have 3 girls that all look like her as older versions of themselves?
Yeah, maybe. Usually usually the kids look like one or one of the parents. So
yeah, and she just got a triple whammy.
Yeah. Dang.
Maybe.
Shout out to the genes.
Maybe.
I know it can't be easy to take the side of your daughter/sister's ex-partner during the breakup, but I appreciate them. Well, I mean, damn, whose side are you going to take in this? There's one clear aggressor. While things aren't great by any stretch of the imagination, I feel strange. Things seem calmer without my ex in the house. There seems to be more laughter about the place. Even the dogs appear more at ease. But I love the dogs. But I am so angry, which obviously isn't good for my heart. But I've wasted a huge chunk of my life raising kids that aren't mine in a marriage that was effed from the beginning. Now, please don't take what I said as me saying I regret my girls. I don't at all. They are smart, beautiful, cheeky little weirdos in love with all of my heart. But the betrayal stings. The fact that I've been working my butt off for years and she's been making thousands on Spicy Fans and been keeping it all to herself stings. I am ashamed, humiliated, embarrassed, angry, relieved, the mess of emotions in my head, but I know I'll get through it, hopefully. I need to for my kids and my dogs. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer it in the comments. And that's where that story ends. But if you want to see our comments regularly, you can join our live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST right here on YouTube.
That's true.
And you came in the middle, dude.
Wow.
You came in the best part.
I did.
The worst part.
I don't know if we've ever had a heart attack from the grand reveal before. I mean, that's wow.
Crazy.
Oh boy.
It does seem that his life is very much rapidly heading in a positive direction.
Yeah. I mean, he's dropping dead weight. He's dropping dead weight.
Oh yeah. I'm speechless, dude.
I want to know who the father is.
Yeah.
And if is it a bunch of different people, or is it her only or her Spicy Fans co-workers?
Or does she have, honestly, I was thinking if they do seem to look alike, I wonder if because we've had a story before where I don't know if it was cheating or this is like their cheaper IVF, but they found someone who looked like their partner.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I remember that. I remember that
so
story.
it's like, and then you just have the
because
same,
they had a type. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like you have the same kids, and they also, them all looking the same probably helps the illusion a lot.
Yeah.
Because if they're all like, if you got like an Asian, a black kid, and a white kid, you're like, okay, this is
obviously
wrong.
Yeah.
Something's wrong here. I am none of these things. Oh, can we please find a Reddit story where that is?
Yeah. Like
she has a kink for like all races, basically,
and doesn't. And the guy doesn't realize until much later. He's like, yeah, like I guess it was weird when I had 3 Asian babies.
No, I want one from every single race.
You want the whole rainbow.
I want the whole rainbow.
Beck Apocalypse says, my 2 kids have different fathers. My daughter is my doppelganger, and my son looks like a mix between my brother and my cousin's son. So it's like, okay, you can have 2 kids from 2 different fathers and still have a lot.
Yeah, they look alike. Like the genetics can work out to where you basically might not be suspicious.
Yeah. Well, if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.